Ever wondered how to bake a perfect Mardi Gras King Cake? Well, wonder no more. Today, we're diving into the delicious world of this traditional delicacy, a staple of Mardi Gras celebrations. The King Cake, with its vivid colors and hidden surprises, carries a rich history, symbolizing the festivities and camaraderie of the season. So, whether you're a seasoned baker or a beginner in the kitchen, this recipe is for you. Get ready to bake the best Mardi Gras King Cake you've ever tasted. First off, you need to gather all the ingredients. For the dough, you'll need 3½ cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, and a teaspoon of salt. You'll also need a 1/4 cup of warm milk, 1/2 cup of water, and 2 large eggs. Don't forget the 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter for that rich, buttery flavor. Moving on to the filling, prepare a cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. This will give your cake the signature Mardi Gras taste. For the icing, you'll need a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of milk, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This will add a sweet glaze to your cake. And finally, let's not forget the colorful sugar sprinkles in purple, green, and gold to represent justice, faith, and power, respectively. With all these ingredients ready, you're set to start baking. Now, it's time to start with the dough. Dough making is an art, and the key to a perfect king cake lies in its dough. So let's get started. First, you'll need to warm up a cup of milk. Make sure it's lukewarm, not hot, as we don't want to kill the yeast we'll be adding next. Pour the warm milk into a large mixing bowl, and then sprinkle 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast over the top. Let it sit for a few minutes until it starts to froth, a clear sign that the yeast is active. While the yeast is waking up, combine 4½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt in another bowl. Stir it well to make sure the ingredients are evenly distributed. Now, add 2 large eggs, a 1/2 cup of softened unsalted butter, and a teaspoon of grated lemon zest to the yeast mixture. Stir gently to combine. Next, it's time to gradually incorporate the dry ingredients into the wet mixture. Add the flour mixture bit by bit, stirring constantly. Continue to mix until the dough starts to come together. This is usually when it starts pulling away from the sides of the bowl. Now here's a tip to achieve the perfect dough consistency. If it's too sticky, add a little more flour. If it's too dry, add a spoonful of milk. The dough should be soft and slightly sticky, but not so sticky that it's hard to handle. Once you're happy with the consistency, turn the dough out onto a floured surface and knead it for about 10 minutes. You're looking for a smooth, elastic texture. When you've achieved that, place the dough in a greased bowl, cover it with a clean towel, and let it rise in a warm place until it doubles in size, which usually takes about 2 hours. With your dough perfectly mixed and ready, move on to the next step. And remember, the fun has just begun. We're one step closer to enjoying our delicious Mardi Gras King Cake. Stay tuned for the next steps. Next, we fill and shape the cake. Let's dive right into the heart of the Mardi Gras King Cake, the filling. Our filling is a delightful blend of cinnamon, brown sugar, and finely chopped pecans. The key here is to distribute the filling evenly across the dough to ensure every bite is as scrumptious as the last. Start by spreading softened unsalted butter over the rolled-out dough. This not only acts as a glue for the filling, but also adds a rich, creamy flavor. Now sprinkle the filling mixture over the buttered dough, leaving a small border clear around the edges. This will help in sealing the dough once we roll it. Now onto the fun part, shaping the cake. Begin at one long edge of the dough and gently roll it towards the other edge, keeping the roll tight. Imagine you're creating a cinnamon roll log. This is where patience and a gentle touch are key. You don't want to rush this part. Once the dough is rolled up, bring the 2 ends together to form a ring. Pinch the edges to seal the dough. This gives us the iconic king cake shape. Don't worry about making it perfect. The beauty of homemade cake is in its rustic charm. Here's a little secret to getting the perfect shape. Place a well-greased oven-proof bowl in the center of the ring. This helps the cake hold its shape while baking. Before we pop the cake into the oven, let's make sure it's perfectly prepared. Brush the top and sides of the cake with a beaten egg. This will give the cake a beautiful golden brown crust. And there you have it. Your cake is now filled, shaped, and ready for the oven. This is where the magic happens, where the raw ingredients transform into a delicious, festive Mardi Gras King Cake. Stay tuned to see that transformation unfold. Your cake is now filled, shaped, and ready for the oven. Now, it's time to bake our cake. This is where the magic happens, where all our hard work starts to pay off. The oven should be preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the perfect temperature to ensure that our king cake bakes evenly and thoroughly, without burning the outside while leaving the inside raw. Once your oven has reached the desired temperature, it's time to place your cake in the oven. Make sure to position your cake on the middle rack. This is the sweet spot in the oven where heat is distributed most evenly. The baking process is a delicate dance of time and temperature. For our king cake, we're looking at about 25 to 30 minutes of baking time. However, it's crucial to remember that every oven is unique and cooking times may vary slightly. Be sure to keep an eye on your cake, making sure it's turning a beautiful golden brown but not burning. Now, a useful tip for ensuring your cake is baked thoroughly is to do the toothpick test. Around the 25-minute mark, take a toothpick and insert it into the thickest part of the cake. If the toothpick comes out clean, then you know your cake is done. If you see any batter on the toothpick, give your cake a few more minutes in the oven and test again. While your cake is baking, it's the perfect time to clean up your workspace and start preparing for the icing and decoration phase. Remember, a clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. As soon as your cake is done, remove it from the oven and let it cool on a wire rack. This allows air to circulate around the cake and cool it evenly. Resist the temptation to ice your cake while it's still warm. The icing will melt and make a mess. Your cake is now baked to perfection and ready for the final touches. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The aroma of the freshly baked king cake filling your kitchen is simply irresistible. Pat yourself on the back. The hardest part is over, and the most fun is yet to come. Lastly, we add the icing and decorations. Now this is where the magic happens. Let's bring Mardi Gras to life with vibrant colors and sweet finishing touches. First things first, the icing. In a mixing bowl, combine 2 cups of powdered sugar, a pinch of salt, half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. Stir it well until it forms a smooth, pourable glaze. Now, here's a tip. To get a perfectly smooth icing finish, always sift your powdered sugar to remove any lumps. Also, if your icing is too thick, add milk a teaspoon at a time until you reach the desired consistency. Once you have your icing ready, it's time to dress up our cake. Drizzle the icing over the cooled king cake, making sure it covers the top and drips down the sides. You want to use a back and forth motion with your spoon to create a beautiful drizzling effect. And now, for the piece de resistance, the sugar sprinkles. We'll need 3 colors to represent the heart of Mardi Gras: purple for justice, green for faith, and gold for power. Sprinkle them on while the icing is still wet so they stick well. To evenly distribute the sprinkles, hold your hand high above the cake and let the sprinkles rain down. Remember, decorating a king cake is all about having fun and getting creative. Don't stress if it's not perfect. It's the spirit of Mardi Gras that counts. And of course, don't forget to insert the plastic baby from underneath the cake. It's a fun tradition that promises luck and prosperity to whoever finds it in their slice. So there you have it. With the icing glistening and the Mardi Gras colors shining bright, your king cake is a sight to behold. It's not just a cake, it's a celebration of culture, tradition, and most importantly, deliciousness. Your Mardi Gras king cake is now ready to be enjoyed. And remember, every bite is a taste of the joyous Mardi Gras festival. Bon appetit! And there you have it, a perfect Mardi Gras king cake. We've journeyed together from gathering our ingredients to pulling a beautifully decorated cake out of the oven. This isn't just a delicious treat, it's a symbol of joy, community, and the vibrant spirit of Mardi Gras. Each slice is a piece of celebration, a tribute to tradition. So why not share this festive delight with your loved ones and bring some Mardi Gras magic to your home? Please hit the subscribe button for more recipes by Cajun Place Cuisine.